Come on, Commander Syrup, you're not going to take no shit from Snappers here. Do you know he hates Mass Effect? That's a Canadian game! From Canada! I can explain this. I was just about to review a game. Yeah, Gotcha Force, yeah, about toys that walk around and do stuff, so you can see the connection here.
Step up to the stage, Gotcha Force, and let's see if you amaze me.
Gotcha Force is an action game developed by Capcom and released in 2003 for the Nintendo Gamecube. The annoying thing about Capcom, however, is that they make it really difficult to determine who actually made the game, since they don't separate their development teams as publicly, so we'll assume that Keiji Inafune, Hideki Kamiya, and Shinji Mikami all made Gotcha Force together. That a safe assumption? But knowing the developers won't help us determine the quality of this game. But you know what will? Breaking it down. The game starts by throwing you onto a town map, separated into various territories. As the game progresses, these territories will be invaded by evil toys, known as the Death Force. So to protect your town, you have to work together with your toys. Wait, toy? Oh, Gotchaborgs, and create your very own Gotcha Force. So as you step up to the plate to defend your bedroom from the evil Death Force, you initially take control of G-Red, the protagonist's signature Gotchaborg. Armed with both a ranged and a melee attack, you take advantage of the game's auto lock-on feature to maneuver your way around the map, dodging projectiles and dealing damage. And then you'll realise one very important thing. Gotcha Force is fast, like really fucking fast. The game relies on your situational awareness and mobility. You stand still for too long, and well, you're dead. Every Gotchaborg has its own special abilities, some involving suppressing an opponent's mobility, some involving improving your own mobility, and some, well, most of them, involve doing
massive damage.
Because of this speed and the variety of attacks available, the game has a cinematic element to it. Giant cruiser in the sky? How about I fly through the sky ripping it apart with my sword? Or how about I destroy a powerful enemy with a giant beam of fire from my dragon? Yeah, I have a dragon. Gotcha Force lets you have a motherfucking dragon. That is the best part of this game. Every enemy that you face, except for the other character's signature Gotchaborgs, can be acquired. To do this, you have to constantly battle against Deathborgs, and at the end of each battle, you might get one of the Gotchaborgs you fought against. This way, you already have a good idea of how they play and their abilities without having to test it out yourself. For every victory, you acquire 10 GF energy. This energy is used to expand your Gotcha Force. For example, my Fire Dragon is worth 1000 GF energy, which means if I only have 2000, my Gotcha Force won't be as large. However, if I decide to fill it with weaker Borgs with less GF cost, I can have a much larger, albeit weaker team. You can also assemble different Gotcha Forces to suit your situation. For me, I use two different Gotcha Forces. I use the mighty Canipa Force as an all-round effective fighting team, and I used my Air Force when fighting large aerial units. I played lightly, relying on my Canipa Force to get me through most of the tough battles, but there are so many different combinations that you can put together to face off against different enemy types, giving the game a great sense of variety. Gotcha Force is an uplifting story of a boy living a normal, peaceful life when he comes across a special power that he uses to fight off evil forces. Together with his friends, they go to a large magical school and they fight dragons, ghosts, evil wizards, and this is Harry Potter, isn't it? Gotcha Force features a large cast of Gotcha Force commanders that you team up with or battle against in order to progress through the game. Now, whilst none of these characters are wizards, they are all very effective in combat, which is probably all they're good for. As characters, they're really boring. I want to fight robots! I don't want to talk to these kids. There's multiple mini storylines going on whilst you progress. Maybe a neighborhood kid is getting bullied, and you have to step in to help him by fighting the bully's Gotchaborgs. The Earth is about to get destroyed! Why am I fighting children? I just want to save the fucking world already!
You meanie.
Shut the fuck up, Mana. There's two visual styles at play in Gotcha Force. There is of course the bright 3D stages and Gotchaborg models, which really helps give you this sense that you're playing as a small toy in a huge world, with desks, books and beds towering over you. Every attack that you use will have some sort of visual effect to it. Guns will fire out blue bursts of energy, ranged sword attacks will propel these large slashes, enemies will explode into a blue light when they're destroyed. There's a variety of different effects to suit the action. It's not a large variety, but it still does differentiate between the different Gotchaborg types. The other style at work is one that we see very little of, unfortunately. The opening of the game features a fully animated cutscene showing how our protagonist and his friends got their Gotchaborgs. It's a really freaking good cutscene, and the same style is used in conversations between characters using a visual novel method. But that's it! You get the opening cutscene and a pretentious ending cutscene. Maybe I'm being greedy, but I want more. Most of the plot points are just told through an exclamation mark on your map and a brief conversation with another character. And I have to ask, why should I give a shit? Because of this, there was nothing to break up the game, and it felt way more repetitive.
The Galactic Emperor's top order is destruction.
Now that's authentic. Say what you will about Capcom, but they really have a devotion to getting only the best. And whilst most companies wouldn't go this far, Capcom has no issues with kidnapping children and forcing them to voice act for their game. Now that I'm on every police watch list in the country, let's drop the joke and talk about the music. It's incredibly cheesy. Like, monumentally cheesy. But the real question is whether that matters to me. Initially, no, I thought it fit in with the theme of the game, and although it didn't help make the combat more exciting, it was understandable. The problem really came later on in the game, when I'd just grown completely bored of the same tracks in every battle. The tracks are fine independently, but they're just so goddamn repetitive. By the end of it, I just started playing the game with the sound off. Gotcha Force has a strange way of keeping the combat fast. Instead of allowing you to veer off and move around the stage comfortably and freely, the game employs an automatic lock-on system that cannot be turned off. This means that you can't lead your ranged shots, hide behind cover effectively, or do anything that's, well, not attacking. This is really annoying when you think you're being clever by working out some strategy, only to realise it doesn't work with the controls available. This game takes about 9 hours to complete the main story, but there's also some other game modes. One mode in particular is the multiplayer. Now this is really cool. What happens is you can take your Gamecube memory card, go over to a friend's house, plug your memory card into their Gamecube, and now you can get your Gotchaborgs to fight each other. How cool is that? You can also set up different versus mode to fight other Gotchaborgs. Fucking awesome! Or it would be if anyone else actually played this game anymore. Gotcha Force is a lovely game. It's cinematic, it's cool, you can play it with all your friends and pretend you're a 90s kid. But how does it rack up in the scores? Gotcha Force is exciting, Gotcha Force is fluid, Gotcha Force is fun. With the variety of Gotchaborgs available and the unique playstyle, this game is one hell of a ride. 10 out of 10. Shit, 2 out of 10. The world of Gotcha Force is great and I love the cartoonish vibes it gives off. The sense of scale is something that's done really well and makes the environments interesting to play in. 9 out of 10. Whilst the controls are fairly basic and easy to understand, there's also a massive lack of control with the camera. 5 out of 10. Play it on mute. 3 out of 10. Now those are some extreme scores, no middle grounds for this game, so what could possibly be the final score? Well, despite Gotcha Force having some technical issues, I do not review using averages. I say Gotcha Force is fun, so it gets a score that fits, a 9 out of 10. Thank you for watching the Canipa show, sorry that it's just been in form these recently, but I'll see if I can get back on track with stuff.